I just realized it's Friday the 13th. What a perfect day to talk about annual report. All right, everybody, welcome back to my channel. And today is going to be about the annual report. And you would think, if you listen to a lot of people on online forums and Facebook groups, you would think that the annual report was a horror story, okay, like Friday the 13th movie or something. I don't know, a lot of misinformation gets out there about it. It's really a fairly simple process. There is a bit of information to go with it, and that's what I'm going to try to do today. Just give you the facts, who goes, where to go, when to go, just the facts, okay? So, the annual report, if you go by the Bureau of Immigration website and go to it, the statement on there as to who goes is all registered aliens with an ACR card report to the Bureau of Immigration the first 60 days of each year, okay? And on there, it also states, except tourist visa, or they call it a temporary visitor visa. Okay, that's what BI calls a tourist visa. Okay, so you're exempt. There's also others that are exempt, so let's go over those. Most of the people I talk about here on my channel are foreigners and expats, and they're usually here on four different visas. The tourist visa, obviously, the Balak Beyond visa, or privilege, the 13A, like I am on, permanent resident visa, or the other permanent visa, the SRRV, and there's a few different types of those, but they're all covered under the SRV. All right, SRRV, they are exempt. They do not do this. One reason they're out of it, they don't have an ACR card, okay? So that eliminates them. They actually have a PRA card. And then actually the PRA is the Philippine Retirement Authority, and they handle everything for them that deals with immigration. It's all done. You pay the price for it because you pay a pretty good fees for the SRV visa. So thereby they take care of everything. And what they do is they actually send a list each year to the Bureau of Immigration of all the people on the SRV, and that covers the law to cover all those people. But they're exempt; they don't have to go in. Sorry for the noise. I'm a little close to the road. Anyway, Balak Beyond. Well, Balak Beyond is not a visa; it's a privilege, and thereby you are not required to do the annual report. Okay. You don't have an ACR card. You're not required to have an ACR card. There is a voluntary card that you can get if you feel you need one while you're on the Balak Beyond. Just because you get that doesn't mean you have to report, so don't read into anything with that. You are exempt, okay? And of course it said the tourist visa is exempt, okay? Now there's a little bit about the tourist visa because you actually do an annual report. So now you're confused. Hang on, let me get the first part of this over, and I'll go back to the tourist visa, so stick around a little bit, okay? So, of the four categories that I cover, the 13A, like I'm on, a permanent resident visa, because I'm married to a Filipina, I have to do an annual report. Well, also everybody else does also, and that includes student visa, working visa. There's a whole lot of special visas. I'm on a 13A. There's quite a few different 13. There's the basic 13. There's a 13C, D, G, several of those permanent resident type. All of those visas, they have to report in each year, okay, same time. As it said, first 60 days of each year. And so now you can go to any BI office. There's like a handful, maybe 6 that don't do it, but there's like 50 others around the country that do it. So you can go to any of those to do it during that 60-day period. Okay, remember this. During the qualifying time, January, February, you can go to any office. If you are late, say you don't remember till March or something came up, you can't get there till March, there is only about half or less than half of those offices that will actually do it for you after March 1st. Okay, so keep that in mind. You may have to go a little bit further to take care of it. You're also going to have fines. Okay, you're going to have a basic 500 peso fine plus 200 for each month. So if it's like the first week in March, you're going to pay for the whole month. If you get into the second week of April, you're going to pay 2 months. So it's 200 for each month, plus the 310 pesos, which I think I forgot to say. The annual report is 310 pesos. Not a lot of money. Okay. One other thing, if you are out of the country during that time period, during the entire 60 days, say you go home to your home country in December for the holidays, you don't return until first week of March or into April, you don't have to pay the penalty. You just have to go in and pay it, but you only have 7 days to do this. If you wait past 7 days, now you got to pay all the penalties. Okay, so keep that in mind. Get in right away. As soon as you get back, take care of your annual report. You won't have no fees. But the fees aren't real big. So you can also have someone do this for you. If you're sick, if you're in a hospital, you're recovering. A good place for that, like I've said before, your tourist agents that take care of, where you can book flights and this and that. A lot of them take care of immigration, and they can do your, whether you're sick or not. You can fill out some paperwork with them. It gives them power to do it. You leave everything. Of course, you got to pay a fee, but you can have them do that. A lot of people have them do their extensions. They have them do their annual report form every year because they don't want to deal with it, so they pay for it. You can do that also, especially if you're unable to make a trip to the BI. And yes, if you live a long ways away from a BI office and you have to ride a bus 3 or 4 hours, well, some of the bus rides can be a horror story, okay? But with 50-something offices around, the majority of people I think that do it are probably fairly close to one. I have to ride a bus or a van 55 minutes, hour and 5 minutes to get down to the office. It's at a mall, so it takes me about 5. Never has taken me more than 10 minutes to do the annual report. You simply hand them your ACR card. You wait a few minutes. They come back with your receipt. You pay 310 pesos, and they hand you your OR, your official receipt for it, and your ACR card back, and off you go. Right over in the mall, have lunch, do a little shopping. Okay, so it's not a terrible thing. Those that have done it will tell you. The ones that will tell you all the horror stories are people that have never done the annual report. Okay, so let me check this. We took care of the late fees. If you're out of country, you can go anywhere, January 1st to February 29th. A lot of times the misinformation also comes from the BI. They put out something, actually I'll try to flash it up here on the screen. Okay, that was just put out. Someone took a photo of this at a BI office, and you can see on here, it doesn't say anything about who's exempt or anything else. It just says you have to come in with kind of a warning, okay? Well, that's, every year something like that is put out, and so they cause a lot of misinformation as well. Like I said, the horror stories, they come from people that have never done an annual report. Okay, so take that with a grain of salt. Okay, so now let me get back to the tourist visa. The tourist visa, you are not required to go to the BI office to only do an annual report, okay? Now understand that. Because you go in and you have to extend your visa, right? You do extensions. They do it automatically, okay? And actually the reporting time for them, the time that they're going to do that for you, is from November 1st till February 29th. Okay, so there's the last 60 days plus the first 60 days of the year. So during a 4-month period of time, eventually you will come in, they will do it. You probably won't even know it. They usually don't tell you. You will see a little extra charge of 310 pesos. And if you actually look at your receipt, you'll see on that one, it says annual report, okay? So a lot of people that do the tourist visa don't even know they're doing it, okay? The 6-month visa, that's still kind of experimental. I don't have the exact answer for that because that time frame could go past this 4-month period. I would imagine if you got it in October, they're probably going to tack it on then because it would span past the 4-month period of time, right? Because I would imagine they want to wrap it all up by March 1st, have all the annual reports done, and collect all the fees. That's what they're looking for. Okay, so tourist visa. You will see stuff in there, and like the circular that they put out that I just showed from the website, it doesn't say anything about being exempt. You have an ACR card, so it's basically telling you have to go in. They're not giving out all the proper information. So, no, do not go in just to do the annual report. Go in and report like normal when you need to extend your visa, and just note that it'll be taken care of on there. If you've already done it, mine used to come up in November, the 2 years that I was on my tourist visa. November was a month that I ended up going in and extending my visa. And sure enough, both of my receipts from that month over a 2-year period had the annual report in it for 310 pesos, okay? So you're all covered. Like I said, guys, it's real easy to do. And one other thing, if you are required to do it, the very first time you do, you have to go on. I'm going to put a video up after this and show you exactly where to find it. One time, the very first time you are going to go to an annual report, ahead of time, even the night before, you go on the website and they send you to a place to do what they call encoding. Basically, it's going to register you within their database for doing the annual report. And it's some simple information you'll see on here. It gives you out a reference code, encoding code or something. Take it with you. They didn't look at mine. They saw that I had it. They just took my ACR card. All 3 years now I've gone, they just take my ACR card, boom, they're back in like 5 minutes, okay? So I'm going to show that next, right after this, okay? So stick around for that. If you're a first time, show you where to get on this. After that, you never have to do it. You just go back each year, hand over your ACR card, okay? So it's not a horror story. It's really not that bad. And do be careful. It's Friday the 13th, okay? Bye. All right, so if you go to the main Bureau of Immigration website and just go to the main page and scroll down, and you're going to see this annual report. You'll see the same thing if you use your phone. It's just as easy to do, okay? Just click on that. Now this takes you to the online filing system, they call it. This is what they call encoding. Okay, it says annual report for 2015. This is when this went into effect. It actually says it's the AR 2014 form. That's when they started this encoding. So follow along here and you'll see what I'm talking about. It basically just tells you what to do here to go on here and file. Oh yeah, right here. For applicants that have already complied with the AR-14 form, you just present your ACR card to the evaluation officer. Okay, so what they're trying to say, you only do this once. Okay, so easy enough. So just come on here and go over to proceed to online encoding. This is where you actually register. Okay, visa type. Okay, so like if, for instance, me, I'm a 13A, so here's all the 13 permanent resident type visas. Um, like for me, the first time I did it, I was on my probationary year. Make sure you do this on your probationary year, and you want to click it for probationary. Just because you'll change the next year to permanent, you don't have to do this thing over again. It's just the one time. It basically just puts you into the system, and then they're able to quickly check you when you come in each year after that. Okay, so I would use that if it was my first time. For me, actually, though, right now, I would uh, I would just be doing the simple basic 13A. And if you're unsure what yours is, maybe you're something different than 13A, it's on the back of your ACR card as to what the actual one is. Like another thing to show you on here, you're going to see everything on here. It was kind of funny because I saw Valley Beyond. Okay, they don't do the annual report. They just list it all of, even SRRV is on here. Okay. Where was it? I saw SRRV. It's even on here. Well, they don't do the annual report. Okay. They just listed all of them on this. Okay. So just because you're on here doesn't mean you have to do the annual report. Don't let that get anybody confused. Okay. Whatever yours is, if you do an annual report, just go on here, select it. Okay. Boom. And fill out the rest of it. ACR card number, all your stuff. And boom, you submit. And then it's going to give you a reference code, the encoding code, and you just take that with you. Now, I did this the very first time. They didn't even look at that. Okay, maybe if I wasn't in the system, then they would have asked me for it so they could double check it. But I mean, he saw that I had it, but he didn't even look at the number and take it to confirm it. He just took my ACR card, and boom, 5 minutes later, the whole annual report was done. Paid my fee, on my way. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Real simple, real easy, guys. Okay.